This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Present day. Present time.
Here we go!
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve. And Happy New Year! Just sitting here with Mr. Gopher. Say hi, Mr. Gopher.
Hi, Mr. Gopher.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? I've been kind of slacking. I was going to make a video last week, and I've just been sitting on this footage, and I just haven't felt compelled to cut it together. I don't know, I was feeling a little self-conscious about it, but I did the vinyl tag. I filmed, and then the battery ran out on my phone like halfway through, and so I did the whole thing again. So I've got all this footage to kind of sort through. Okay, well, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Which band or singer did you listen to? And see what I want to use. And 2024, and I don't know, maybe I thought it was just a sign for what I should do for my first video, but the other day, January 1st, 2023, I turn on the computer and look at the YouTubes, and what is the first video that's recommended to me but the 2024 vinyl tag by the man himself, Rob Walker. If you don't know, he's the man who comes up with the questions that most people answer when it's time to do the beginning of the year vinyl tag. Though there is another set of questions that I might answer in the future. But anyway. So I figure I should just do the vinyl tag, answer the questions, and that should be the first video for this year. One. Favorite record you purchased in 2023? And I purchased a lot of records that I really dig. So I don't know if there's really one favorite, but I'm going to pick this record as a favorite just because it's part of a package deal of the day I got this record. This is a band from the 90s called Rex, and this is their album Rex C. This is a reissue from the Numero label on silvery vinyl. And earlier this year, they did a reunion concert, and a friend of mine hooked me up with a ticket, and it was like part of a birthday celebration. I went with some friends. We had very nice dinner and drinks, and then went to this show to see this band Rex afterwards. If you don't know Rex, they were kind of part of the slowcore movement. The drummer Doug Sharon, who also played with bands such as Codeine and June of 44, was in this band. And if you like that kind of 90s slowcore, definitely check out Rex. Okay, next question. Two. What was the last record you bought in 2023? Okay, and the last record I bought in 2023 was an upgrade of something I already had, and that was High Time by MC5. And I talked about this a bit in my MC5 video, that I had an original that kind of disappeared, and then I got the Sundays reissue. But I decided that I was going to get this clear and yellow splatter vinyl because it's beautiful. And that should be my copy of this record. So that is question 2, the last record I bought in 2023. Okay, question number 3. A band or artist who released 2 or more albums in the same year. Okay, and I am going to go with Herby Hancock. In 1973, you know, partly thanks to the influence of Miles Davis, his music was getting more and more electronic, more and more experimental. And on the 30th of March, 1973, he released this album, Sextant, maybe the most experimental of his albums on Columbia. And Rain Dance is an incredible track. Some great synthesizer work and trippy stuff. And then later that same year, on October 13th, 1973, Herby's breakthrough huge hit album Headhunters was released, which if you don't have, you should have. Great version of Watermelon Man and Chameleon, big hit. Yeah. Okay, question number 4. This is one of those theoretical, philosophical questions that everybody loves, and by loves I mean hates, to answer. If you could only listen to music from one decade, which decade would you choose? Well, if it meant ditching all my other records, I would have to say the 1970s, because most of my collection is music from the 70s, and that would be easiest. But, you know, a lot of 80s, postmodern, post-punk, new wave stuff, 90s, grunge, all this, and 90s electronic music, experimental stuff, jazz from the 50s, and rock and roll from the 50s and 60s are a big part of my musical lifeblood, and I would hate leaving those behind. So it'd be a tough choice, but I would probably pick the 70s when it really came push to shove. Fine. Show a record by a band from Manchester. Okay, well, here's a band from Manchester that I don't think gets enough love. This band is called Crispy Ambulance. This is their first single, From the Cradle to the Grave. So yeah, Crispy Ambulance, they were from Manchester, late 70s, early 80s, on Factory. I mean, besides this single, which was kind of independently done. But they were on Factory Records. They were kind of friends with Joy Division. The singer, Alan Hempsall, appeared on stage with Joy Division when Ian Curtis was having an episode and was unable to perform. And if you saw the movie Control, that was the gig where the audience started rioting because Ian Curtis wasn't there. It was the singer for Crispy Ambulance that filled in. And yeah, I love this band. I even love their 2002 reunion album that nobody liked. So check them out. Check them out. Question number 6. Which band or singer did you listen to the most in 2023? Well, I wasn't exactly keeping tabs and trying to calculate what records I was listening to, but according to Spotify, my most listened to artist in 2023 was the German progressive rock band Can. 7. Show 7-inch records. Okay. Well, here's a little story. Here's a little story. This is Butterfingers by Raymond Lefevre and his orchestra. This was a childhood record, probably handed down from the parents. This is the same beat to shit copy from back then that I've since scribbled on. That was the B-side of The Day That the Rains Came Down, the instrumental version of that, which you can find on YouTube. But how long ago was it? It was back in the 2000s. Back in the 2000s sometime, I was like, I can't find the B-side Butterfingers anywhere. And that's the song that I really like. It's just a neat, sprightly little piece of lounge music with some strings. And so I got a new copy on eBay so I could post the track Butterfingers to the YouTubes. And later on, I was at the community thrift store and I saw another one. I'm like, oh, hey, that's cool. Who knows how often this is going to turn up? You know, it's a weird little record nobody gives a shit about. I'll buy this and have 3 copies. Then a month later, I was down there again. I'm like, did I not buy the copy I saw last time? Well, I'll buy it now. More time has passed. I'm digging through the 45s. Well, I guess I'll have to buy it now. So yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies. 5 copies of The Day the Rains Came Down, which is fitting for the way the weather has been, right? Okay, so 2 more to make 7. All right, I think this was the most recent 7-inch single I found, also in a thrift store. One Thing Leads to Another by The Fix. Why don't they do what they do, say what they say? One thing leads to another. And for my last one, Questo un disco jukebox. This is Mario Guarnera singing Navi. This is Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, sung in Italian on some nice green vinyl. Edizione Fonografi. Yeah. All right.
Oh, no, you can't leave yet. You gotta have a nice cup of tea with me.
We're now going to take an imaginary trip together on this beautiful day. We're going to be walking in the woods. It's going to be a beautiful day, a warm day, and you're going to enjoy the walk. So come along with me.
8,
Question number 8. Who is coming to your party? Choose 4 music-related people to come to an imaginary dinner party. Past or present, who would you invite? Now, when I think dinner party, I think potluck. So who's going to bring the food? Well, if I invite Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top, he'll bring some Tex-Mex deliciousness. If I invite the great jazz organ player, Brother Jack McDuff, he will bring some hot barbecue today. If I invite Holger Zuke from Cannes, he'll bring some okra. And gonna need some booze for it to be a party. So Lawrence Welk and his champagne music will get us drunk on champagne. We'll be dancing the polka all night. Of course, 4 people does not a party make. And it wouldn't be potluck without any you-know-what. So I would also have to invite Cheech and Chong and their mystery guest. 8-track tape. 9. Question number 9. We lost them. Choose one musician who passed away in 2023. All right. Tom Verlaine from the band Television. Great guitarist. Big influence on a lot of people. The man who brought 10-minute-long guitar jams to CBGB's. This is his 1982 solo album, Words from the Front. It's a great record, and you should listen to it. 10. Now we're getting into some more like philosophical, etc., etc. Question number 10. Imagine you could only listen to music from one country. Which country would you choose? I don't know. Being in the USA, am I going to choose the USA? Now, USA is the birth of jazz, blues, rock and roll. But then a big part of rock and roll's evolution is the exchange between the US and England in the 60s and 70s. So I don't know, I'd be kind of limiting, only listening to American music, you know, because you'd be leaving out music that influenced American music. Because that would leave out a lot. Leave out reggae, African music, Middle Eastern music, German krautrock, Italian prog rock. There's music from all around the world. And it would really be limiting to choose one country. But America is technically diverse.
Yeah. The numbers all go to 11. Look, right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11.
11.
Question number 11. Name 3 vinyl community channels you discovered in 2023. Okay. Yeah, that kind of helps the community to kind of band together, give you more options of stuff to watch. Channels I discovered this year, Chris Propfe, Musically Obsessed. He's got some good taste in rock and also kind of punkish music, like he did a little thing about the SST label recently. And he's got a catchy theme song. Another one I discovered this year was a guy who calls himself Concert Buddy. I discovered him through the youngest members of the VC, which I will talk about more later. But Concert Buddy does a lot of interviews with other record collectors and VC people. So that is kind of good. He ties stuff together, and he's very enthusiastic about music and about the hobby. Another one who I heard about through his channel, who's also very enthusiastic, is Spinz Vinyl. Spinz Vinyl, he is equally enthusiastic about rock and jazz and other music, equally enthusiastic about cheap records and expensive records. You know, he'll do the grunt work. He'll listen to that $50 reissue and tell you whether it's worth parting with your cash or not, so you don't have to. So yeah, good channel. Also want to honorable mention a couple of channels that I discovered in 2022, so they don't really count for this. One is Sorin Vinyl. It's a long-haired young cat who has really good taste in psych music. And Abigail DeVoe, who I already talked about in my MC5 video. Her popularity is exploding, and it's well-deserved. She does little rockumentaries where she'll take a classic album and tell the whole story behind it. Okay, back to records.
12.
Question number 12. Show a record you bought when you were a teenager. Okay, so when I think teenager, I think junior year of high school, where I was really digging deep into the punk and the new wave music. I had a small group of friends that were into that stuff, and we would converge on the weekends and compare records that we found. And I picked this record because I am absolutely sure that this is the same copy that I bought back then. This is Another Music in a Different Kitchen by the Buzzcocks, their debut full-length album. Distributed by Gem Imports. I guess the Gem label is still doing stuff now. They're putting out some new bands and some compilations. But anyway, yeah, this has got some good tunes. Fast Cars, Moving Away from the Pulse Beat, I Need, I Don't Mind. And I'm pretty sure I was 16 when I bought this.
13.
Question number 13. Show a funk or soul record. Okay. Uncle Jam Wants You by Funkadelic. And this is from 1979. And it has the full 15-minute long version of Not Just Knee Deep, which De La Soul sampled. And it's groovy. It's groovy, but it's also got some experimentation going on. And some long jams. There's the inside cover.
14.
Question number 14 is a two-part question. Show a record you think everyone has, and then show a record you think nobody has. I'm going to take it a step further. Both of these records are going to be by the same band, which kind of gives it away. What is the record that everybody has? Everybody talks about. Now here you go again, you're showing this record. Na, 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 na. You surely need some drugs to finish up this album. Have you any drugs you want to share? All right. And the record I think nobody has, this is Fleetwood Mac, Merely a Portmanteau. This is a bootleg. on the amazing Corny Phone record label. And it's great. This was my intro to Peter Green era Fleetwood Mac when I found, not this same copy, but I did find this when I was a teenager. The first side, it's got this long jam of Rattlesnake Shake into Underway, and then the version of Green Monalishi with the long bass solo, though it kind of fades out. And then the second side is live Kiln House era with Danny Kerwin and Christine McVie, again doing long jams. Yeah.
15.
Question 15. A record by a female artist you bought in 2023. Okay. Well, this is the album Night Flight by Yvonne Elliman. And I don't know. Is she a one-hit wonder for her song If I Can't Have You? It's on this album, but I think most people bought the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack if they wanted that song. But there's some good smooth yacht rock on this record. There's a nice version of Sally Go Round the Roses. And this whole album is not on Evil Spotify. But yeah, there is more to her than just being a one-hit wonder. And she was Mary Magdalene in Jesus Christ Superstar. And on one of her earlier albums, she did a cover of a Who song and actually got Pete Townsend to play on it. So yeah, Yvonne.
16.
Favorite video you posted on your channel in 2023, and favorite video that you watched of VC in 2023. Okay, well, my favorite video that I posted, I'm going to say my April Fool's Day video, because I was totally self-indulgent and made a video that didn't make any sense and wasn't about anything. And I figured if I could just call it a joke, I could get away with it. And I did. It was just all cut up. Favorite video I watched? I don't know. There were a lot, you know. I mean, there's like Cosmic Brian videos and Abigail videos and all the big heavy hitters that I've watched. But I think I want to give a shout to the youngest members of the VC, and that is a group of 4 people. There were 5 in the past, but group of people who became really good friends with each other for making these videos, and then once a year they go on these road trips and they make like a movie-length video documenting their record-finding road trip. They go to a different city. This year was the youngest members of the VC take New Orleans. And I don't know. They're like in their 20s, I guess. So are they really the youngest? I guess the 14-year-olds with their Crosleys and Taylor Swift records don't count. And that's collecting, right? Well, anyway, so the self-proclaimed youngest members of the VC are 8 Vinyl Low, who Emma's like one of the first VC YouTube makers that I started watching, and Marikins Music, and The Record Spinner, and Spinz and Needles, whose musical taste seems most closely aligned with mine, but who never makes any videos anymore, but turns up on the road trip videos. But anyway, I'll put a link to the youngest members of the VC take New Orleans. It's just kind of fun. It's like you're hanging out with them.
I can't see you, but I know you're here. I feel it.
17.
Question number 17. Show a record you'd describe as a 90s classic. Well, there's a lot of classic stuff happened in the 90s, a lot of indie rock, a lot of experimental stuff, grunge, metal, blah, 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 blah. But the 90s was also a golden time for electronic music. Electronic music went in some interesting directions. And I'm going to show Dead Cities by the Future Sound of London from 1996, which was just a great year for music all along. Some of their stuff is kind of hard-hitting techno music, and some of their stuff is very ambient and contemplative, and this kind of has a little bit of both. So I think they were trying to make some kind of a cyberpunk kind of concept album with this. Somebody told me there was a CD version that had a large booklet. But yeah, Dead Cities by Future Sound of London. 90s classic. Okay, I'm getting tired of this. That's the bad news. The good news is there's only a couple more questions left. So
18.
if I could walk into the cover, look through your collection and choose a record cover you'd like to be part of. Les Baxter's Space Escapade. Les Baxter and his orchestra. Yeah, just hanging out, having drinks with some groovy Martian chicks. That sounds like fun. But then I wonder if it's a trap, because they're going to have to take off their helmets to drink their drinks. Is the atmosphere breathable? It's kind of steamy. But if this really is the party it looks like, sign me up.
19.
It's like a greatest hits. Show me a record that's an actual album that could be a greatest hits album. Okay, well that is, no question, Abraxas by Santana. Their second album, 1969. But it's just hits and hits and hits. Black Magic Woman, Oye Como Va, Samba Pati, Hope You're Feeling Better. It plays like a greatest hits album, definitely. All right.
20.
All right, last question. Question number 20. Show me an album that was released in 1974. Okay, I'm going to go with popular favorite, Red by King Crimson. And this was the final album of this particular lineup of King Crimson before they shut down for a few years and then resurfaced in 1981. But if you saw the movie Mandy with Nicolas Cage, the song Starless was on the opening credits. Some people consider this kind of roots of progressive metal, what with the heavy riffs that dominate the first side of this. This is a nice pressing on Polydor. Just wanted to show you that label. But yeah, I mean, along with Court of the Crimson King, this is another one of the core essential King Crimson albums.
Why do you need new bands? Everyone knows rock attained perfection in 1974. It's a scientific fact.
Okay then, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and peace.